Alright guys, welcome to BBMPulsers. Thank you for stopping by. Share, subscribe, like it. This helps the channel. So in this video, I'd like to show you how you would connect your capacitor bank on the back of the PCB. We're talking about 2.4 Tesla BBMPulser 5B. This is 1.3 version, came out in this year 2024. So when you purchase this, you have an option to get copper strips. These are the copper strips that will be supplied with the board, and here I have capacitors, which are the smaller, but it's the same principle applies for a larger one, except for a smaller one. You will need to adjust the holes here. They're a little bit closer together here with these capacitors, but with 120 microfarad capacitors, they match, although this center hole is a little bit small. So if you do end up drilling it out, make sure that, let me show you here, there's a positive lead right here, this positive lead. If you drill it out, you will disconnect this center pin. Is not going to be contacting this pathway, and this is a high voltage. As a reference goes to the low voltage PCB. It drops down through the series of resistors here, and that's how the circuit knows when to trigger. So if you do end up drilling it out, make sure you solder it here before. Basically what I do is I would drill my hole right here, and then go on the back here and with the wires and connect to this positive lead. These white lines is the lines where you need to connect your pathways. So for example, this 4-inch will be, let me show you the other board where it's more clear. So the 4-inch is gonna come out through the board onto the other side. Let me show you here, like this, and it will connect to the thyristor. There is going to be a thyristor here, and it will bend onto the thyristor anode. So this is the one, and the other ones, so you'll get a board strips with the marked numbers. For example, 4.3, 4.3. This will have 2-inch, 2-inch, do not cut mark in 4.7 inches. So this is where it's gonna go, 4.7 inches, and then 2 inches will stick out through both sides. So you will need to align it like that, and then mark right here, and bend it, and so it will go into the board and come out on the other side. Also, you'll need to drill holes here and 4 holes right here. One hole, let's see, this is a positive lead, is going to be for a coil, and another one is for diodes multiplier. So on the other side here, you will have diodes sitting here, and one of the cathode from the diode is going to be connected to the negative, and anode, and cathode is going to be connected to the positive here. So there's 2 diodes here, and that's where the strip will come out to about 2 inches. So that's where it bends here, and it bends here. This is one strip for positive, and this is strip right here for negative. It connects all the negatives. Okay, so self-explanatory. This is 4.3, 4.3. So you basically match it here and you cut it to this point, to the end of this white line, and this one's gonna go to the next here, and then you have another one like that. It's another 4.3. You cut it here. I make them a little longer, and you place another 4.3 here. So all four is gonna be here, and then you placed another, this one, let's see, 4.7 and 2 inches, 4.7 and 2 inches. So it will be like that. My bad, it's gonna be this one here. So you will place it, will be placed like that. It will be bent here, and it will go into the board on the other side. This one is gonna be placed like this. It will come out on both sides of the boards for 2 inches on each side. So you bend here, push it into the board, and then this two sections of 4 inches will go, one section here and one section will be here. Another thing which you can do is these 1, 2, 3 capacitors. This is C2, C1 and C3. You can drill out the center hole, but this one, do not drill it out, just leave it as is. Instead, take a file and file the center pin slightly all around. You don't need to remove much, just a hair, and then it will fit into here. So in my PCB I have a template, and I am using this template to mark a new holes. So it will go just like that, and then it gives me the new marking for this smaller capacitors for BBMPulser 3B model. And right here I already drilled it out. Sorry about it's not focusing much, but another thing, if you are going to be building 3B circuit, which is very similar to this 5B, there is a negative pin that comes to this hole right here, and as you can see, I had to drill it out slightly closer, and so this negative is not going to be touching to the original hole. So what you need to do is later, either from this strip or from other points from here, make a soldering connections to here later on, or once you put a strip here, then from the strip you scratch it off this green paint, and then you solder it to the negative board here. Okay, after drilling the holes, or you just need to drill them out a little longer and insert capacitors, 150 microfarad, they'll be larger. This is a 3B circuit I'm building and showing you, so these are smaller. The next thing you need to do is connect, well, make a holes for these strips to go over these terminals. So there is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So there's 4 holes needs to be made right in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the way I do it is I take a pencil and I would mark, for example, there is one here, one here, one here, and one here, and then I go and get the center line here, and that gives me points where I would drill. There is one here, and so on. And that's what it would look like. Sorry, it's not really showing up, but hopefully you got the point. So let me go ahead and drill those out and install them. But before installing them, there is another thing I do. I'll show you that once. Let me drill them out first. After drilling the holes, the next thing I do is I polish them. What you can do is use like a 600 grade or 800 grade sandpapers. I have like a buffer here, and I can just go through them like that and polish them. So let me polish them and I'll show you the next step. So that's how copper strips would look like after polishing. Now I'll go ahead and install it on the board. Okay, the next thing I will do is I will bend these longer pieces, and this is for negative and this is for positive lead. So this will be bent in these places right where the holes are. You see those holes? And this one will be bent like right here to go over minus and go through the hole. There is a hole there. Also, I will go ahead and drill the holes. This one I'll wait, but these ones here, I'll drill a 1/4 inch hole on each end here. Once holes are drilled and pieces are bent, you measure it, make sure they're fit. So this is how it's supposed to look like. After that, next step would be soldering. You would need to apply soldering paste, flux. You're welcome to use whatever you have. What I'm using is pure pine rosin that I collected from it's a soft pine rosin, and I would apply some of it on each of the joints where I would soldering points here. Also I would apply it right here, right here, right here, and 4 points. Also apply it right here and on the bottom of here, also on the top at 2 points here where this one and this one is going to be connected underneath and on the top. And so I would apply it first and then we'll start soldering. Soldering is a little bit tricky part. What I found is that you need at least 100-watt soldering tool, otherwise it's just not gonna heat it up all the way, especially if you're working with like 0.8 millimeter or 1 millimeter thick strip. This is Weller 120 watt. Let me show you how big it is. But what I found is that old school soldering tools, this is something I found on a Facebook marketplace from some old lady. She had a couple of them in stock and I found they work really well. They have a large copper piece here that heats up and can deliver a good amount of heat. Also you can control it with torch. This is the gas welding torch that I use to heat this up to the proper temperature and solder it here. So let me show you how I do it. Okay, I just want to show you this first joint. So I would keep going till I'm finished with all of them, and then I would apply some here, that's underneath those strips that would go through the board. Let me finish working on all of them and I'll show you the next step. I'm done applying solder on all the way here, here, and finished connecting all the points. And apply solder here. Now I'm gonna drop it in and put this inside here like that, and drop this inside. And the next step, I will have to solder here, here, and then melt it and can solder it together. This part's with this line here, that's negative, and right here and right here, that's positive, and right here for thyristor. Let me show you. This is what it looks like when it's all done. I have terminals coming through, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and capacitor bank in place. After soldering, I would connect minus of the PCB to the minus to the capacitor bank here. So I would use some flux here and would get it soldered. Okay, now minus is connected to the capacitor bank. That's very important. For 3B circuit, if you're working with 5B, then you don't need to do it. Also on a capacitor, the one for the, remember I mentioned that there is a hot, this is the positive, goes to the board. On this one I didn't drill it out. I basically scratched all around this center pin with the file, and it went through, so I don't need to really do anything here. But on a minus here I had to do it because I drilled a hole here and the hole was away from the original hole. Next part is the cleaning. For that I use mineral spirits and the toothbrush. So it's very simple. Just put a little bit on a toothbrush and work your way up till it's all clean. After cleaning, I will start preparing for putting the resin in there. I have this frame, it's aluminum frame that I built that would go over here. Then I will use a hot glue and I would glue it all around so that when I pour the resin it wouldn't escape anywhere. And I'll go ahead and pour the resin here. Okay, the next step, I would use Flexit 90. This is a polyurethane resin, about 150 to 100 milliliters of it. Let me get, this is two-part, so it takes about 2 minutes to set, not to set, to start getting hard, and about I don't know, 15 minutes or so to cure, fully cure. So it takes about 15 seconds to mix, and I'll go ahead and pour it. Once I pour it, I would level it and hold it until fill it up, make sure. Now all I gotta do is hold it in a level position so that it cures evenly. Once this cures, I would take utility knife and cut it all around here and remove this border. After, I would remove the edges here, just like this, all around. Okay, and lastly, I would use acetone to clean all around here, and that would be it. Now it's complete. It's fully insulated and everything soldered underneath. That's how you connect capacitor bank. Alright guys, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share, like it, and I'll see you in the next one.